back, and here we are today to talk about eggplants. And I have two different type of eggplants here. These long ones, these are called Japanese eggplants, and these nice fat ones are called Italian eggplants. And I'm going to show you what to do with them. But we're going to start with the long ones first, and I love making eggplant fries with these. They're so good, and I'm going to show you how to do them. Okay, first we're going to cut the top off. We don't want this, and we're going to remove the end off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into thirds. Okay, so I have 3 pieces here, so I'm going to take each piece and then cut it in half, and then half again. Okay, and then half again. So I have 4 fries here, and then I'm going to take this half and cut it into 4. Okay, so I have 8 pieces here. Those are going to go in the bowl, and I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of these. And you can cut them any size you want. If you want to try to cut them thinner, you can. I like to use the thin eggplants, the Japanese eggplants, to make fries because they don't have a lot of flesh. Okay, so as you can see, I already sliced all of these up. Okay, got them in a bowl. Now, the trick with the eggplant is you need to salt the eggplants. If you don't salt them before you cook it, it falls apart. So I'm going to salt these and let them sit for about 10-15 minutes before you end up frying them or grilling them or sauteing them, okay? And what this does is it takes out some of that liquid that's in there, so when you are cooking them, they're not gonna fall apart on you. Okay, so these eggplants right here, I sliced them up and they've been sitting under the salt for about 15-20 minutes. So as you can see, they look kind of wet, okay? That's from the moisture that's coming out of them. So what I'm gonna do right now is just pat them down on a paper towel just to get that extra liquid out before I end up, see how the paper is dripping? There's all that liquid, okay? So we're gonna get all that liquid out of there. And then what I'm gonna do is we're gonna coat these. First they're gonna go in eggs. I have some eggs that I whipped up in here, and they're gonna go inside the eggs. And I'm just gonna throw some in there for now, okay? And then I'm gonna coat them in breadcrumbs. So one thing that you should do is one hand becomes your wet hand, so you're only dealing with your eggs. Your other hand becomes your dry hand, so you're only dealing with the breadcrumbs. Because you start mixing the two, you end up with a big mess. You don't want that, okay? So one hand coats the eggs, coats it with the eggs. The other hand does the breadcrumbs. So just cover it with the breadcrumbs, pat it down until it's all coated. And then you put it there. So you keep going, and you do that until you're done with all your eggplants. And then what we're gonna do after is fry them, and I'm gonna show you. Okay. So as you can see now, we're gonna be frying them. So I put them in the hot oil, so you want your oil to be nice and hot. You don't need a lot, maybe about enough oil that's about 1/2 inch deep. And these will fry very quickly. So just kind of turn them around, give them a good turn until they're all nice and golden brown all around. As you can see, they do cook up fast. And once they are done, just take them out and let them sit on some paper towels to absorb the extra oil. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put in another batch. Don't overcrowd your oil because you want to be able to turn them around while they're in the oil to give you room to move them around. Also, as you add more into your oil cools down. we're gonna let these cook until they get nice golden brown, like that one. Just flip it over. Okay, I'm gonna finish frying these. And while I'm frying them, I want you to go and visit Eddie the Eggplant, who's gonna talk to you about the nutritional value of eggplants.
Thanks, Ms Zuba. Boy, it is sure an honor to be on the Cooking with Ms Zuba show. Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie the Eggplant. Before I talk about the nutritional value of eggplant, did you know that it is believed eggplant originated in India, where it continues to grow wild? In the 13th century, Italian folklore believed eggplant caused insanity. They may have had a point. I'm crazy about eggplant. Eggplant is a high-fiber, low-calorie food that is rich in nutrients and comes with many potential health benefits. From reducing the risk of heart disease to helping with blood sugar control and weight loss, eggplants are a simple and delicious addition to any healthy diet. They're also incredibly versatile and fit well into many dishes. Back to you, Ms Zuba.
Here they are. I fried all the eggplants and they look really good. So now you can eat these plain, like a snack. They're really good. Or you can dip it in marinara sauce, ketchup, mustard, whatever you prefer. Or just eat them plain. They're so good. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at the Italian eggplant. And these are great for making eggplant parm, but that takes way too long. So maybe that would be another time. For today, I'm gonna show you how to grill these. So first, remove the top. And I always like to remove a little bit at the end. It makes it easier to hold up because I am gonna be slicing this the long way, okay? So I like to leave the skin on, but I always take the first piece off because then it just makes it easier for me to slice down until you have to about 1/4 inch thick until you slice the entire eggplant. And just like the Japanese eggplant that we salted after we sliced it, we're going to be doing the same thing with this. We're going to be layering it up in a bowl with salt. We're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes. If it sits longer, it's quite all right. And when you cut this, just be very careful on cutting it. I'm going to start on this side with this one because now it'll be a little bit easier for me to slice. If you have a mandolin, go ahead and slice it on that. It will probably be easier than trying to do it this way. I'm just so used to always cutting it this way that this is the way I do it. I also had a bad experience with a mandolin. Sliced off part of my knuckles on it. So I tend to do it this way. Okay, so here we go. Now, I got a bowl, and I'm gonna start with a couple of slices in the bowl, and just sprinkle some salt on them. And then just keep going until they're all in there and all salted. So here are the eggplants. They've been sitting in the bowl with some salt on them for about 15 minutes. So now we're gonna take the eggplants and we're gonna go on the grill. We're gonna take the eggplants and just put them right on the grill. And you want them to just get nice markings on them and cook them until they're tender. You can see they're getting nice and marked underneath. So I'm going to start flipping these over. You don't want to burn them. You just want them marked and cook them until they're tender. Okay, so some of these are already done. Both sides are done. So I am removing them and putting them on the tray. I don't want them cooking anymore, otherwise they'll burn. Some are a little bit thinner than others. But I'm going to remove them and put them on the tray and get them inside. And I'm going to show you how to season them and serve them. Okay, we're going to go in. So now I have my grilled garlic right here. I have some fresh herbs. I have parsley and basil and fresh garlic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mince the garlic, because this is how I'm going to flavor and season my eggplant that I've just grilled. If you don't mind bigger pieces of garlic, you can leave them bigger. If you prefer to mince it, you mince it. And this is going to go inside my bowl. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my parsley. Give it a good chop. And that's going to go in my bowl. And my basil. I love fresh herbs. I love cooking with fresh herbs. They just give food so much more flavor. And just the smell of basil is so amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to take my eggplant. Okay, I got a few slices, 3 slices here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of cut it up into pieces so it'd be easier to eat. And that's going to go in my bowl as well. And I'm going to do that with the rest of my eggplant. Now remember, your eggplant's already salted, so we're not going to add any salt to this. What we are going to add is some olive oil to it and some balsamic vinegar. And this is great. You can eat it this as a side, just like that. Or toss it on top of some greens, add a little bit more flavor to a salad. Okay, so here is some olive oil. I'm just gonna drizzle a couple of tablespoons of olive oil on there. And some balsamic vinegar on there. There we go. Now let's toss these together. Just like that. Now, if you want to add a little bit of a bite to it, add some crushed red pepper to it. And I do that sometimes. Just give it a little bit of a bite. But otherwise, you can just leave it just the way it is. And there we go. All done. So you learned 2 ways of how to cook eggplants, 2 different types of eggplants. We have our Japanese eggplant that we made fries, and now our Italian eggplant that we grilled, and we made kind of a salad here. Again, you can have this as a side dish, or you can top some greens with that and add other vegetables with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about eggplants and how to cook with them. We'll see you next time. Have a good day.